Command Combat Battle Reports. We're going to start this season off with the D-Day invasions using Memoir 44. Today marks the 70th anniversary that Allied forces invaded Normandy, some by the air and some by the beach. Today we will be fighting it out on Omaha Beach, as you can see here. This game will be using the Overlord rules, which means that there is one player who plays the commander on each side. He'll be giving out command cards to each of the other players, who will then interpret them as best they can. If a player doesn't get a command card, he can try to take the initiative himself, but he risks taking some damage and getting court-martialed, which in gaming means he gets no pizza.
My name is Derek, and I am going to play as the US side, as the American commander. And our strategy today, hopefully if the cards are in our favor, is try to use a breach using our armor through the center, using them as a diversionary tactic for their artillery, while our strength on the left flank starts to push through on the sides, and our rangers try to take out the artillery here. We're going to have to play it by ear depending on how we draw our cards, so we'll see what happens.
Hi, I'm Mike. It's my first time playing, and for my strategy it goes, I'm going to break it down into thirds and focus a lot on these tanks, so a little bit more to the right side of the board, but pretty much defend as it comes, react, and we'll see how it goes. Enjoy.
The Germans get the first activation, and they do a pincer move on the left and right. Now in this, that just means that they're activated, they don't have to move. On their left, which is our right, their artillery fires into the infantry, which is just unloading, causing a kill and a retreat, and when you retreat on the ocean, you are killed. This is going to be tough for the Americans. On their right, their infantry fires and causes 2 retreats, which is 2 kills. On the Allied side, they do a general assault all along the front, charging up the beach. This is what you expect to see in Normandy Beach. Just running in there, total mayhem, trying to rush the German positions. More specifically, on the right, they do a probe, and the damage unit moves up and causes the artillery to retreat. In the center, it's a special infantry assault card, which allows the infantry to move even further because they're all just dashing so quickly, and still assault. And that is what you expect to see on Normandy. They rush the German position, assault it with all they can, and kill off half of a unit. And on the left, they do a general assault, getting halfway up the beach and right into the Germans' faces. The tanks, meanwhile, rush up to the seawall, have a great chance to do some damage, but look at that, just no luck for the Americans. I guess their guns couldn't get elevated. The Germans open fire on them and do plenty of damage. They do an attack on their right and an assault on the center. On the right, they take out 2 units on the far end, and the artillery just blasts that infantry unit in the middle. 3 out of 4 stands destroyed. And they take out 1 tank and cause the others to retreat. Meanwhile, in the center, they pick off little bits of each unit, chopping them down to size. Though the Americans still have enough that they might be able to pull off an all-out assault and break through at this point. And they get that chance with the General Advance card, while the right gets a probe order. On the left, they assault the seawall with everything they have, destroying 3 out of 4 stands on the unit guarding. And the Americans in the center manage to wipe out that machine gun nest and take his position. On the right, the Americans have managed to make it up to the sandbar and have picked off one of the German stands inside of the bunker. The Allies are really starting to have some momentum now, and because they have destroyed an entire German unit, they have scored a point. They need 8 to win. They get points by destroying units, taking town pieces, and by getting off the other side of the board. The Germans only get it by destroying Allied units. And they're going to do it with their finest hour. This is the most powerful card in the game. And it shows. They kill 3 stands from a fresh unit still getting off their boats, destroy 3 more up at the barbed wire there, almost completely annihilate that unit in the center that was breaking through, causing them also to retreat back to the tank trap, and they destroyed the 2 units coming up on the flank, giving the Germans a point. It's tied now, but they have really devastated the American advance. The Allies come back with an attack and a pincer move. They cause the artillery to retreat, and when in a bunker, a retreat on artillery means a kill, because it means the crew ran away. Meanwhile, on the right, another unit has made it to the sandbar, and they're going to trade shots with the enemy. The center did not get a command card, so they are not ordered to do anything, but they are breaking orders and moving 1 stand up on the seawall. They are up there with the Germans. If this works, he'll be a hero. If it doesn't, he'll be court-martialed. The Germans do direct from HQ, armored assault, and a probe. Armored assault is just going to be an order to any infantry since they don't have any armor yet. The artillery fires at the infantry, causing them to retreat to and killing off another stand. And that infantry on the seawall plasters those tanks. Must have fired them from above and hit them through the roof. That's 2 kills out of 3 shots. That is really pretty amazing. In the center, the Germans completely blast that unit that broke orders and got up onto the seawall. Look at that, 3 out of 3 hits. That was just no luck for the Americans there. Also, the unit that had broken through at the machine gun nest is taken out by the artillery. And on the right, 2 more stands have been destroyed before ever even getting off the boat. This has really been a devastating turn for the Allies. And a great turn for the Germans. That's 4 points. They are halfway to victory already. The Allies have to come back with something powerful, so they come in with air power, a barrage, and an assault. The air power strafes those 2 units, missing the one in the bunker, taking 1 stand out on the hill. Then the barrage comes in and destroys the remaining artillery unit inside of the bunker. The Allies now have a gap to go through. And on the left, they concentrate all of their fire on that 1 remaining stand behind those sandbags up on that hill. And look at that bad luck. With each dice roll, it's a 50-50 chance they will hit infantry, and out of 4 rolls, they couldn't get 1. That is some bad luck on the American side. I tell you, those Germans are really well fortified. But they did manage to get an extra point, so now it is 2-4. The Germans come back with a probe in the center, recon on force, which I think they're going to use for artillery, and a probe on their left. This is going to take up the whole board, so let's take a look at what's going on. The Americans are really pushing through on the left, although they're getting bad dice rolls, so the Germans may need to plug that. In the center, the Americans just about broke through, but are really being pushed back. And on the right, the Americans are stuck at the sandbar. So for this particular turn, the Germans killed off another Allied stand on their right, our left. They did a little bit of damage at the sandbar on their left, our right. They would have caused one of the Allied units to retreat there, but because they're at the sandbar, they get to ignore 1 flag. And look at this in the center. Now the Germans get to share in the bad luck. Out of 6 dice rolled, they didn't roll a single infantry or grenade. That is a 50% chance on every die roll, and didn't get any of them. I don't know how this can possibly happen, but I guess it's karma coming back on them. But they don't need to fear, because they now have 5 points, only 3 more to victory. The Americans are desperate to do something now, so they do a probe on the left and behind enemy lines. They do both on the left, having one of the units jump up on the hill, fire into that bunker from behind, and then run up to the town beyond. The other units also assault and do a little bit more damage on that bunker. The Germans answer with a probe all along their lines. Yes, it is an all-out German probe. I don't even want to picture it. They destroyed another Allied unit up there by the seawall, and did damage to a fresh one, causing it to retreat. In the center, the German units have come out of their fortifications, run up onto the beach with the Americans, really pressing at them, doing a little more damage, and the artillery finishes off an American unit that was back in the sea. That gives the Germans 7 points. They need only 1 more point to win this game. The Americans are really desperate to do something to stay in this game, so now they're going to do an all-out strike here all along the front. Okay, the cards are recon, and they're using that on the left to make the 1 American unit on the interior move into the town. That gives them a point. The firefight is then used on the right flank, and the infantry on the sandbar concentrates their fire on the bunker and takes out the Germans in there. That's 2 points for them. Continuing the firefight on the left flank, they fire at the seawall, taking out another German unit. There's another point for the Americans. Then they go with the close assault, and they charge into the bunker on the left flank, taking it. There's another point for them. And in the center, they push back, killing 3 stands, almost taking out a unit and getting yet another point, but they don't quite make it. They racked up 4 points this turn for a total of 6. They're back in this game, and they might be able to pull this off if they can just get 2 more points. But the Germans come back with a recon order, which is used for artillery, and that is essentially 4 hits on a unit that has not even gotten out of their boat yet. They destroy an entirely fresh unit, killing it off, giving them yet another point. And that is 8 points for the Germans, enough to win this game. Let's see what the commanders thought of it.
Overall, the game was pretty close. We concentrated most of our firepower on the left flank. The right flank stalled a bit. Wasn't managed to get any cards that can activate any of the units on the right, as well as the center. So both attacks stalled. Had the cards available for the left flank, so I continued with our strongest flank and tried to keep pushing with some minor success. Without the cards for the center and the right, the 2 other generals decided to roll for activation, some with success, some without success, and unfortunately wasn't too successful.
Alright, so we had an exciting victory. The Germans took it, and it was a lot of the cards, a lot of strategy. Some pretty good stuff going on. Our right side here, solid as can be. Our middle had some ups and downs, but for the most part it maintained. And over here on our left, it was pretty hairy. They had tanks and everything over here, but we held our own. It was super fun, and it was really close. If you noticed, they only needed 2 more points, and they could have easily got that soon. So awesome game. Recommend everybody play.
It really was a good game. Well, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We'll have some more videos for you, so happy gaming, everybody.